As depressing as it is, it's sometimes much easier to just accept the fact that when it comes to conservatives, the cruelty is the point. There really is no such thing as something too cruel for Republicans, for the people who claim to follow Christian values. Ironically enough, the people that claim to follow Christian values also follow one of the most non-Christian people ever, Donald Trump. And now Donald Trump has once again left America shocked after he made a despicable comment about Joe Biden's recent diagnosis. And even worse, it adds fuel to a conspiracy. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avallone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now we're going to get to this shocking comment that Trump made and how this fuels a conspiracy in just a moment. But first, I have to show you guys something really quite amazing. James Comey, the former FBI director, recently went on live TV to respond to Tulsi Gabbard's calls for his arrest.
I'm very concerned for his life, and James Comey, in my view, should be held accountable and put behind bars for this.
I hope people know enough about that particular person that they understand where it's coming from. It says something more depressing about the leadership of our current administration, and I just shrug because that's ridiculous.
Does it make you scared?
No.
Why?
Well, it's not my first rodeo. I would hate something like this, or the audit, or all the investigations, to happen to someone who doesn't have my experience, because I look at it and I think there's another one of those. But when it's one of the real problems we have in this country right now is the use of the president's power aiming at individuals. Any others that have been targeted, law firms being targeted, this is a real problem that people should not look past. My thing, to me, and I hope to everybody else, is just a distraction that goes away in a weekend, but there's something much more important going on here. The use of power to aim at individuals eroding the rule of law.
First of all, I appreciate the confidence. Second of all, the confidence is warranted. Is he really going to go to jail because he posted a picture of seashells? But if the Trump administration is not intimidating people, they're just blatantly lying. Like just earlier, when Trump's press secretary told a blatant lie.
Is the president okay with this bill adding to the deficit?
This bill does not add to the deficit. In fact, according to the Council of Economic Advisors, this bill will save $1.6 trillion. And the president absolutely understands and hears the concerns of fiscal conservatives and of Americans who want to get our fiscal house in order. That's what the intention of this bill is.
Then how come there's unearthed audio of a GOP senator saying the exact opposite?
If you really look at it, look at the numbers, and I look at the numbers, we will actually increase the deficit over the next 10 years, going from right now $37 trillion in debt. CBO says we'll be at 59. My guess is we'd probably increase that by about $4 trillion with the big new deal, or the big beautiful bill. That puts us at $62 to $63 trillion. Again, you have to be honest.
Yeah, the Trump administration cannot get their story straight, and it's because there's not really any story. They're just kind of winging it and hoping that no one notices. And this has become even more apparent with the moment you've all been waiting for. That's right, Donald Trump made a shocking and despicable comment about Joe Biden's recent cancer diagnosis. First, he posted some rather nice sentiments on Truth Social. Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the family, and we wish Joe a fast and successful recovery. Yes, I am willing to bet money that Trump didn't write this post himself, because in less than 24 hours, Donald Trump already changed his tune.
We were just inside the Oval Office for a separate event that the president was hosting here at the White House with members of law enforcement, and I asked President Trump for his reaction. This is what he told me.
I think it's very sad, actually. I'm surprised that it wasn't, the public wasn't notified a long time ago, because to get to stage 9, that's a long time. I think that if you take a look, it's the same doctor that said that Joe was cognitively fine. There was nothing wrong with him. Well, he said, if it's the same doctor, he said there was nothing wrong there, and that's being proven to be a sad situation.
So the president immediately drawing a connection between the cancer diagnosis that the world found out about yesterday, Jake, and President Biden's cognitive issues that he's always accused him of having ever since they were in the campaign together, obviously. He did not say whether or not he intends to call his predecessor. Obviously, they have had conversations. President Biden welcomed him here to the White House the day of his inauguration when he was being sworn in for the second time.
Yeah, this is just absolutely despicable, and it proves once again that there is no low too low for Donald Trump. Trump is really quite disgusting, and he's really cruel, and this just proves it. This could have been a good opportunity to unite Americans, to say, politics aside, we do want Biden to get better. But no, instead Trump saw this as an opportunity to make himself look better. And to make matters worse, Fox News is now parroting these exact conspiracy theories on national television.
But look, I don't believe that they just found out Friday, but because they're not credible on anything they've done. And you highlighted it's kind of concurrent with this release of the Hur tapes, which frankly Congress subpoenaed, and Merrick Garland as Attorney General was in contempt of Congress. He had no problem holding everybody else accountable for contempt of Congress, but he wouldn't even comply with the subpoena. So, you know, the whole thing was a big cover up, and I suspect that this cancer diagnosis is part of that whole scheme.
This is really just pathetic. This is so embarrassing. Republicans everywhere should be humiliated that this is the side of history they've chosen to be on. And all of this is on the heels of Donald Trump Jr. also making incredibly cruel jokes about Biden's cancer being a cover-up. Trump is a man who has no empathy. He sees a cancer diagnosis as an opportunity to boost himself, to make himself look better. It's appalling and disgusting. And America, we can do so much better.